Alright, in my last video we talked about the two basic types of React components, which are the function components and the class components. So in this video we're going to start with the function component. So basically a function component is a JavaScript function that optionally takes input and return an element to be rendered to the web page. So let's say I come to my text editor here and I write a function here, and let's call this function welcome. So I'm going to open up my bracket where I'll put props, and I'll open up my curly braces and say return. I'm going to be using the heading 1 tag here, so I'm going to write this and say return hello John. And here I'm going to put my semicolon, and since the name of this element is hello John, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it in this closing tag. Please take note of this closing tag. Now when we start writing these functions, I'm going to show you the various ways of doing that, and you'll notice how things will be changing. Alright, so I'll save this and open this up in my browser. Now you'll notice it's going to say hello John. So alright, let's look at some of the characteristics or the features of these components before we look at the various ways of writing it. Now the first one is it is functional, because they are basically JavaScript function, and the second one is they are stateless because they do not hold or manage any states, and the last one is they are presentational, and that's because all they do is output the UI elements. Alright, so next up we're going to look at the various ways of writing a function component. Alright, so this example is one of the various ways of writing your function components. Well, basically you're never going to use this method. Alright, so the next one is the use of props and your component constructors. So what do we really use these props for? Now the props helps you to handle your component properties, and they're basically like function arguments in JavaScript or attributes in HTML. So to actually send your props into a component, you use the same syntax as HTML attributes. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of writing the name John here, I'm going to put a comma after hello, and I'll open up my curly braces and I'm going to write props dot name. So when you do that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put my constructor, which will be const, and I'll give it a name element. So basically this constructor function is where you actually initiate the component properties. So after this I am going to put the equal sign, open up my tag here, and please take note the name here is what you're going to have here. So I'll just copy this and paste it here, and put a space. I'll write name equals, let's say James, and that's that. I'll put my forward slash and close it up, and I'll put my semicolon. Now here, instead of having this function here, sorry, this component here, what I'm going to do is I'll just put the name of the element. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So when I save this and open this up in my browser, you'll notice it's basically going to say the same thing, which would be hello James. You'll notice it says hello James. Alright, so next up we're going to look at putting a component inside another component. Alright, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the name of your function must begin with a block letter. The reason is, if you use a small letter, it's going to see it as one of the HTML elements, so you must start with a capital or a block letter. Alright, so components can actually refer to other components in the output. So in order to put a component inside another component, we're going to write the function again, and we'll put the name of this function. So I will be using app. Now here there's no point putting props here again, so I'll open up my curly braces and I'm going to say return, and I'll open up my bracket here, and I want to use a div tag here, so I'll put my div, and I'll open up my tag here. Now please take note, this name of the parent function is what I'm going to put here. So when I do that, open my space and I'm going to put name equals, let's say Peter. So I'm going to write Peter here, and I'll put my / and close it up. Now, like I said before, that things change. Now here, instead of coming here to write app, I'm going to actually put my tag here. So I'll just copy this. Like I said, it's going to be the same, and I'll paste it here, put a / and close it up. So when I save this and open this up in my browser, it's going to say hello Peter. So you see it says hello Peter. So let's say I want to say hello to more than one person. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to repeat that here. So let's say hello Peter, hello John, hello John, and let me add another one, and let's say we want to say hello James. So when I save this up and open it up in my browser, you notice it's going to say hello Peter, hello John, hello James. Alright, so these are the different ways of writing your function components. Alright, this is where I'm going to stop, and this is my day 5 of 100 days of code. So I'll see you in my next video where I'll talk about the class component. Thanks and have a lovely day.